G'day there and welcome back to the $100,000 to $1 million challenge. In this video, I'll cover all of the IDOs that I've been participating in over the last 2 weeks, together with my thoughts on Lybra Finance and Satoshi VM. Please note the information contained in this video is not financial advice and is purely for entertainment purposes. In today's video, I'll begin with a quick look at the market, talk about Lybra and its current death spiral, Satoshi VM and its also current death spiral, the airdrops I've received in the last 2 weeks, IDOs I've been involved in, which is quite a few, and all altcoin buys and sells. Finally, the portfolio as it looks today. If you find value in the video, please help the channel out, either by liking the video or subscribing to the channel. All trades that I take are logged in the Discord channel, and you'll find my full portfolio in there too. First of all, an overlook at the market. Here's your Bitcoin daily chart. It is, in my opinion, looking a little bit heavy in the short term. I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back and retest this tail down here. 38, 39, even come all the way back down here to 36 before we take off. I think 32 is a bit of a fast stretch. You never know, but I think that's just, you need something full on for that to happen. But either way, it doesn't affect my long-term thinking, which is very bullish. Reason being, you can see right here, Bitcoin halving is coming up. We've got, obviously, spot Bitcoin ETFs, grayscale slowly unwinding. All the other volumes are slowly picking up. Once this imbalance kind of turns its way around, it's just very bullish for me long term. And so the best thing I can do right now is just sit on my hands patiently and try to not do too much. In terms of LBR, basically, if you look at this price chart, it's just been an absolute, pretty much, this is almost good old lunar days of the death spiral here. And so essentially what's happened is, they had a version 1 where the peg for EUSD was pretty good. And then in version 2, they introduced a new mechanism that tried to prevent the peg of EUSD going above $1. Now, as a consequence of this EUSD peg has now been on a consistent downtrend, and currently it's about 89 cents. Now, that means that there's no incentive, or there's very limited incentive for people to deposit their ETH into the Lybra protocol and to mint a stablecoin that gets you 94 cents. Because, as a borrower, you would want certainty. You want USDT, USDC, DAI, LUSD, or just something which is going to hold a peg to $1. And so the TVL of this protocol cannot grow again until this peg is restored. The problem is that the team comments on it and they just say that the peg's working. The peg's going to work. The peg's going to work. Clearly, it's not going to work. Now, unfortunately for myself, all my tokens are locked. I can't access them within 90 days. So I have taken a huge loss on this. If I look at my current situation, I've got all my Lybra here, my 4,300 Lybra stuck in there. Now, it does pay, this PEUSD. It doesn't pay USDC, it pays PEUSD. And of course, that is at about 84 cents at the moment. So it's just quite terrible all around. So I've done the numbers on this overall. I am down on my LBR positions, $2,730. And that's because I did, I did some trades on it before. I then stuck in 5,000. I've got some staking rewards here and there, and that's the final amount, minus 2,730. Now, it's not ideal, but at least I have managed my risk here. If there's only about 2,000 more that I can lose here, so close to 5,000. And that's kind of how it goes going into these kind of projects is I'm just going to allocate my size. Hopefully it works out. Worst case, kind of like this. It doesn't work out. I just have to move on to the next one. So I talk about Satoshi VM. Don't have the price chart, but it's pretty much just had a huge crash. Now, this is getting a lot of hype on Twitter. And when I kind of got around to it, I thought, okay, let me go look at this ape terminal and see if it's worth signing up for it. And after kind of doing a few bits and pieces, it was kind of that, hey, if you want to get an extra chance of getting a random IDO allocation, you need to sign up for this sandwich bot. Now, for me, that is a major red flag, kind of making people work on it, like take joy in MEV sandwiching other people. Just major red flag for me. So at that point, I was out. And of course, what happened is, well, a lot happened. The stories of which, you'll have to go, you probably already followed, or if you haven't, you can easily go and follow. But basically, it was a rigged launch. There was an inside job. And what followed was a Twitter Spaces with the Satoshi VM team. And what happened during that call is the Sovryn founder came on the call, and he said, well, Satoshi VM's a scam. The things that they're trying to say that they're going to do are actually impossible. I know, my friend wrote the library, he says it's impossible. And from there, Sovryn absolutely pumped. Now, good for me is that I bought Sovryn down here at 31 cents and then a little bit more at 60 cents. And I've at $1.50, I've taken out my initial investment. So this was $3,000 worth. Took it out. So I'm currently up 9747. And if it goes to zero, I haven't lost anything. So really happy with that. And this is a great project, and not planning to sell anything from it anytime soon, that's for sure. So that was pretty good. In terms of airdrops received, alt layer, we got 667 of these. I think it was worth about something like $250, something like that. I got that for being a eigenlayer restaker. I have sold that. I held it for a little bit, then I kind of figured I'm not too convinced on the project. That's partly on me, because the time to research everything is a lot, and I actually, to be honest, needed the money for IDOs, so I said, look, I got to cut something. I'm just going to cut it. Could come back to bite me later, but we'll see. Got this Wen thing from Jupiter. Now, I am holding this. Obviously, the price is way down now, but I'm holding it just in case if holding it factors into the Jupiter round 2 airdrop. No guarantees, of course, but I figure it's worth the chance of just holding it and not selling it and seeing if that makes a difference. And then the last one is I did get my Jupiter airdrop, valued at about something like $950, something like that. So I was pretty happy with that. Now, obviously, this is not an airdrop, but I'm just really happy with this ETH/Stone LP that I've got going on QuickSwap over on Manta. My 10 ETH, which I bridged over 1 month ago, is now worth 10.47 ETH. So that's a 56% APR ETH on ETH. If by the end of the year, I got 5 ETH, yeah, I'd be ecstatic. Realistically, I don't think that's going to be the case. And, by the time this bridge opens up for Stone to go back to the mainnet, that's pretty much going to be the end of it for me here, and I'll move on to greener pastures. But certainly, I've been very happy with this. Okay, IDOs. So I bought enough tokens for private allocations into Cedarify. This first one here, Jan, which is for the Storm Warfare game. I'm not an expert at these card games, so I just bought the private for $83. There was an opportunity to buy a lot more, but I just said I'll dip my toe in the water with just $83 worth. The vesting is, it'll all be done within eight months, so can't complain about that. The TG is actually today. What else? Vendetta games. So this was through Nexus. It's kind of like, I think it's like a cowboy thing with zombies, and you can play poker. I don't love it, but I thought I'll just give it a shot. 500 sounds about right. Also on Cedarify, I did Animalia, and I just did the private portion. I could have got way more of this, but I just wanted the private price, which was, I think, 8 cents, and I think the public was 1.2 cents. So, that's a big difference. So I got $241 of this. We'll see how that goes. This one I'm the most excited about, Subquery. My understanding of it is pretty much like the graph. It'll be a competitor to the graph, but potentially an order of magnitude more efficient is what I'm told. So I was pretty excited about this one. It does have a FTV on TGE of 120 million, which is a lot. Graph's FTV is about 1.5 billion for comparison. And so because of that, I was, more than comfortable to try and get in. It was difficult to get in. I've been through that many CoinList IDOs, that, I'm used to trying and not getting in, and I've just given up on CoinList. But I persevered and somehow got in. So really happy about that one. And then Aether Games, $2,500 worth of Aether through Nexus Gaming. Again, not my specialty, but people seem generally bullish on this project, so I thought it's worth a shot. So in terms of buys and sells, here are the 5 IDOs which I talked about. Also bought more paid because you know me, I like paid. So here I bought $3,000 worth at 22.16 cents. Here I bought $6,000 worth at 21.1 cents. And so currently I've got 188,981 tokens. And this minus 3,000 here is just because I staked 150,000 tokens, and you have to pay a 2% staking tax. So that's what that is. So I've got about 38,900 tokens not staked at the moment. I'll decide, I'm not sure what to do with them. If I buy some more, then I can get another 75,000 and stake those. Or maybe I sell these, I'm not sure for now. So I'm just going to hold them and wait and see. And in terms of sells, Sovryn, I took out my initial $3,000, which I talked about before. Now in terms of the portfolio today, largely the same as last week, other than the airdrops have been added here and some SOV has been sold, bought some paid. So I'll just race through this because it's largely the same as the previous video, other than, of course, at the bottom here, Tether. I'm minus 15,000 on Tether. So I've borrowed to the max against my Bitcoin. I'm borrowing against other little bits and pieces of my portfolio as well on pretty high rates of interest, which is not ideal. But it's just kind of, there's IDOs happening right now. I need cash. Sometimes I'll sell airdrops. Sometimes I'll sell positions of things like SOV when it's already had a massive run. But I'm not looking to repay that debt anytime soon. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm aiming to be back in another fortnight's time. So until then, let's always be looking for an edge. Take care until next time, and thanks for watching the $100,000 to $1 million challenge.